Last week, I posted a video called "Are you paying too much commission if you are a buyer and a seller?" And I actually videotaped that during the Super Bowl with a 102-degree temperature, with a sore throat. My lighting was wrong. I was in a bad mood, but I really felt motivated to get the video out. And what I realized after all of your comments and questions is that I probably could clarify a few things in that video. I probably wasn't as clear as I could have been. But this video is going to talk about commission structure for both the buyer and the seller sides. We're going to talk about open houses, the benefits and the cons of doing that. And also, we really want to address whether or not that seller should be present during those home showings or even those open houses. So let's get into it. So Cliff Note version, for those of you who know what Cliff Notes are, is commissions are negotiable. A lot of you reached out to me and said, "No, Audra, I interviewed my 3 agents like you recommended, and they all say that 6% is the going rate for commission." Okay. That's a bunch of baloney. Don't let anybody tell you that. By the way, that is illegal. That is called commission fixing. We don't fix commissions. They're all negotiable. Now, I'm not going to do a duplicate video, so I want you to watch the video I did last week on commission structures and the different ways you can structure them. But you really need to focus on what that listing agent services are. They are going to sit down with you and tell you all the things their company does and their broker and all these things, but you don't care because I'm going to tell you the best way to sell your house. And this is something that has changed in the last, I'd say, 20 years. This is the thing that is going to sell your house, and you need to spend a ton of money, time, and attention on it. And you need to really, really focus on hiring an agent that understands the significance of this. Your house needs to shine online. It's the most important thing you can do as a seller. It is vital. In that video I did last week, I went through all of my services, and you will notice that most of the services are geared towards showing the property in the best light because that is what sells your house in today's market. Trust me on this. In my experience and past data shows that 90% of most of the buyers purchase their homes online. So they're looking at homes.com, Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, and they're finding those homes. They're looking at the pictures, they're looking at the videos, they're reading the description, they're looking at the specs. They might even drive by the neighborhood before they make an appointment with their buyer's agent to show the property. They might go by an open house by themselves, but the buyer's agent is probably the last person they're going to contact as far as, "Hey, what do you think about this house?" The difference is, like back in the day, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have these real estate websites where buyers could go search and find the products they want online, or I should say homes online. But there's a big trend right now. Like, I know I don't even like to go to the grocery store. I buy everything online. And we have been trained to order our products online. So home buyers are taking matters into their own hands. Now, this is extremely important to know when we're talking about the buyer's agent commission, because right now in today's marketplace, and there ain't a single person who's going to convince me otherwise, but the buyers are driving buyer demand, not the buyer's agent. Please understand the difference. The buyers are driving demand. They're finding the properties they want to see, and the buyer's agents are brought in after the fact. Most of the buyers are locating their own properties, and then the buyer's agent is like, "Okay, well, let me go put a contract together, or let me tell you how this process works." Understand that big change, okay? We don't contact the buyer's agent and let them randomly show us properties. Now, for people that are out of town, that's a little bit different, where they are relying heavily on that buyer agent's knowledge, but one trip around the block, the new people that are out of town figure it out pretty quickly. So why am I telling you this? Okay. You get it, right? The buyers, they find their house, they go online, they go to the open house, they don't want to bother their buyer's agent. Why is that important? First of all, it's a huge shift from doing business 20 years ago. But the reason why that's important is because a lot of you are reaching out to me saying, "Audra, how much should I compensate the buyer's agent commission?" Because my listing agent who I hired tells me that I need to offer 3% or 2.5% or whatever the percent is, or the buyer's agent isn't going to show my property. Oh my God, that is illegal. A buyer's agent can't refuse to show a property. The buyer's agents are not allowed to say, "Oh, buyer, we can't show you that property because this one has more commission." I highly recommend you hold as many open houses as you can. I know you guys that are watching are like, "I used to like her until now." All right. Open houses are awesome because you are directly talking to the buyer. I just told you the trend that the buyers are taking matters into their own hands. So if you do an open house, the people are coming in are not your neighbors. They are not. I mean, maybe a few. We might get, I'd say 5 to maybe 10 people through a really busy open house. And most of the people who are walking in are serious buyers, and they are not accompanied by their buyer's agent. And the reason why that's so important is because if that buyer comes in, loves the house, they found you online, they have to have it, they're going to go contact their buyer's agent, and they're going to tell their buyer's agent, I want you to make an offer on this property. Now, that buyer agent is not going to go say, oh, well, the one across the street has a higher commission, so let's go see that one. And I want you to know, all my followers and viewers out there, that buyer's agents and listing agents cannot give their client any advice. Do you guys hear me? No advice. They are there to assist with the process. They are there to help you write contracts. They're there as a guidance counselor kind of thing, like helping you through the process. But they can't tell you, don't buy this house, buy that one. This one's a better investment than that one. They cannot do that. And if you are working with an agent that is doing that, you need to report them. That is not our role in this industry. Do you guys understand? That's super important. So when you are paying a super high commission to a buyer's agent, why? They're not the ones that are selling the property. Now, they're to assist and guide and help with the paperwork, which is worth a fee for sure. But if you think you're going to get more business because you're going to put a higher commission and the buyer's agents are all going to be like, wow, look at that, Betty Smith's giving me 3%. Let's go find her a buyer. That's not how it works anymore. I promise you, the buyers are the ones that you want to focus on. Your house has got to shine online beautifully because those are the buyers that are looking at it, not the agents primarily, but the buyers. And you want to open your house up to as many buyers as you can get in. And you don't want to overpay for a buyer's agent commission because they are not directing the process. Now, if you want to pay the buyer's agent a higher commission, great, do so. But please understand that that's not the person who is directing the sale of your property. Sellers are not required to pay a commission to the buyer's agent side. They are not. They can put 0 commission for the buyer's agent. Right now, buyers are required to pay their buyer's agent representation themselves. So even if you were to put 3% commission if you are a seller in the buyer's agent side, and the buyer has an agreement with the buyer's agent for 2% commission, understand they only get 2% commission, meaning the buyer's agent. You get it? And that 1% doesn't go anywhere. It goes back to you, or maybe they negotiate into the contract. So please be wise about this, okay? I know some of you are like, I think she's wrong. The buyers don't pay their own commission. The answer is yes, they do. As of this year, all buyers are responsible for compensating their buyer's agent commission. Usually the seller helps out with that. A lot of people don't know that. It's really important you get your head around that. Do not overpay the buyer's agent commission. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I know it's a lofty goal, but you can help me out. Now, some of you are like, yay, that's great news, Audra. I don't have to pay really high commission to get the buyer's agent to show my property. Yay. So how much do I charge then? All right. So if you're a seller, you have to understand that you are required to pay 0 commission to the buyer's agent. Did you hear me on that? You are not required to pay anything. There are no set commission pricing percentages, okay? Now, I'm telling you, if I'm selling my house, this is just me, you're not required to do this, I would more than likely cooperate with the buyer's agent commission. I would not put a super high commission amount trying to entice the buyer's agent to show my property because I know they're not supposed to do that, and we know the buyers are the ones that are driving demand right now. However, I do think that it's important to cooperate with the buyer. The buyers have a very difficult time in today's market coming up with that down payment. Money is a little tight, so I would put a commission amount in there for the buyer's agent because I think it's important for the buyer to have their own representation. And I also want to assist with the process if I was selling my own house. But I'll tell you what, it ain't going to be the highest commission out there. Okay, do you guys feel me on that? If you watched the video I did last week, I'm primarily a listing agent. I spend so much money and time and energy on preparing the house for sale because I understand how powerful it is right now. You guys getting that through the video? Like, you have to let your property shine online. It is your job as the home seller and the listing agent to drive people to your house. It's not the buyer's agent's responsibility. I can almost guarantee you that if I have a beautiful property that's staged gorgeous, the house is priced right, and I offer, let's say, a 1% commission on the buyer's agent side, that the property will still sell. That is the power of buyers driving demand. And I'm not trying to bash buyer's agents. There is a huge benefit of having a really good buyer's agent on your side if you're a buyer. But please understand that is not their job to direct you as to what house you should purchase if you're a buyer. That is an old way of thinking. That's back in the day, and it should never have been that way to begin with. It's criminal that we would put buyer's agent commission as the number one way to drive business to anybody's house. Some of you have reached out to me and asked, hey, Audra, what is your commission structure? Okay, once again, I don't have set commissions. If you watch the video that I did last week, my full service commission is right around 2.5%, but I'm paying for staging up front, I'm paying for photos, I'm paying for appraisals and home inspections. But you also have to realize that my price points are probably higher than some of the people watching this video. So I'd say on the low side, I'm selling $750,000 homes, and on the high side, right around $4 million. That percentage and those amounts are a little bit different than other areas of the nation. My company and most brokerage houses out there require their agents to hold E&O, or errors and omission insurance. Now, there's usually some minimum deductibles. Like if we get sued, there's a deductible that we have to pay. In my situation, it's $10,000 to $12,000, my deductible if I do get sued. So when I am doing my listing presentation and I'm coming up with a compensation plan, I'm mindful of that as well. So I need to make more than $10,000, $12,000 on a transaction based on the fact that if I ever do get sued, I need to cover that. You guys with me on that? Now, everybody's different, every area is different, but like I said, I am operating in a very expensive area. For you sellers out there that love to be there on the property when the house is being shown or during those open houses, I'm gonna tell you the truth, and you can listen to me or not, but the buyers are not comfortable with you being there, okay? Now, some of you are gonna say, oh, I do it all the time and I don't care. And all I can tell you is that selling a house is very emotional and it's very hard to keep things neutral. In fact, I just sold a house recently where the seller really wanted to sell the property, and he's throwing in all this money to try to get the buyer to cooperate, and I'm like, whoa, no, we don't need to do that. Let me solve it. I swear the guy would have thrown $20,000 to get this deal done, but because I'm there being neutral and I'm not being frenzy with the buyer's agent or the buyer, this is business, we saved him $20,000. So do understand, like a lot of these emotional connections when you're trying to sell your house isn't always in your favor if you're selling a house. I promise you. In California right now, the buyers used to write these letters and say, hey, look at my family and we're amazing and we have this dog named Fido and we just love your home and please select us. And then the homeowner would get it and go, oh, I want to sell my house to that family. That's so sweet. And now I can visualize my house being sold to this lovely family. Okay, we can't even do that anymore in California. And you want to know why? There was so many complaints that the homeowners got suckered into this letter. It got emotional and they just wanted their house to go to this nice little family, and then they move away and then they realize, holy smokes, I left so much money on the table because emotions were introduced into the contract. So as realtors in Orange County, California, actually through all California, we are not supposed to accept any love notes from the buyer to give to the seller because it could change their mind on the most important thing, and that is you're selling your house for top dollar, and that is our fiduciary responsibility as a listing agent and the buyer's agent, quite frankly, to get the best price and terms for your house. And sending little love notes and having this emotional connection and trying to work everything out because we all like each other can sometimes go against that. I highly recommend that you interview 3 agents, whether you're listing or buying a home. It's very, very important. Find somebody ethical, knowledgeable, and somebody that's willing to work with you on your commission structures and understand what I just talked to you in this video. If you guys would like us to help connect you with some agents in your area, there's a link down below. We'll try to coordinate some agents in your area that you can interview. Sarika, she's my right-hand gal. A lot of you have already worked with her. But we really want you to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of, and you should be working with agents that has a great reputation in the area and someone that you can trust. There is a link down below with some questions you can ask these agents. It's free. You just click the link, fill out the information, and it will download for you. It's settled in. We're going to interview 3 agents. We're going to select an agent that's going to work with us on the commissions. We're not going to give all of our money to the buyer's agent commission side. You with me on that? We're also going to hold open houses or make our house available as much as we possibly can to those buyers. We're also going to take emotion out of the transaction. Sellers, I don't recommend you being on the property, but if you need to be on the property, I say pose as a buyer or something. Don't let them know that you're the seller because they're going to feel uncomfortable. The buyer is who we want to pay most of the attention to. And for you buyers out there, do not write emotional letters, because if you're living in California, and I think there's some other states as well, we need to take the emotion out of the transaction because it should just be a financially based decision. Just telling you. Okay, so that's it for me today. If you guys got any benefit, please smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you watching, and I wish you best of luck.